It's that time again. Save money now and buy these Nintendo Switch games before it's too late. I have years of experience buying games at the end of past console generations for cheap prices, and now some of them are worth hundreds, if not thousands. So I've spent hours going through the full Switch catalogue to let you know which games I feel will go up in value and the reasons why. Stick around until near the end of the video, as I've included a bonus item that isn't quite a game, but it's something you need to act on now and collect while the time is right. I want to thank everyone that watched the previous video in the series. Your support means a lot. We're building a great community, and I can't thank you all enough. Okay, let's get to the games. Shantae and the 7 Sirens. So another Shantae game coming up here, so we know what we're getting into. This is some badass 2D side-scrolling action mixed with Metroidvania type mechanics, and you're gonna be kicking butt with your hair with this one. It's awesome. This whole series of games is absolutely fantastic. You have two options with this one, both of which unfortunately come from limited run games, so you won't be able to buy it completely brand new. You'll have to look on the secondary market, but the good news is there is a standard edition as well as the special edition. Special edition can run quite high in terms of price, but the standard edition is pretty achievable. Next up today is one of the most stylish games on Nintendo Switch, and this is for any fans of the Jet Set Radio franchise from back in the Dreamcast days. It is Bombrush CYBERFUNK. As I said, this is a kind of new take on that Jet Set Radio style of game. It looks exactly like the Jet Set Radio games. If anything, this is pretty much as close to a spiritual successor as we're going to get in terms of a sequel with Jet Set Radio. It's got the stylish graphics that are cel shaded, it's got that really fast-paced, cool action-type gameplay. It's a really cool one. If you're into Jet Set Radio, definitely think about picking this up. I think the physical is available in all regions, and at the minute it's a half decent price. It came out around $30 to $35 or so. You may be able to pick it up even for slightly cheaper than that. I think I got it for around £29 in the UK here. So definitely, Bombrush CYBERFUNK I think has the potential to go up in the future. It's one of those indie games that had a lot of buzz around it, so definitely look out for it. And now we head back to the very early days of the Nintendo Switch. And if you were there on day one, you'll obviously remember Zelda Breath of the Wild. You may even remember Snipper Clips. Do you remember one of the first eShop games to come was Snake Pass? This one I'd never actually heard of before I got the Nintendo Switch, but I picked it up because there was little variety on the first day and decided to give it a go. It's got really strange controls. You're guiding this 3D snake around a level. It's kind of like a puzzle type of game, like puzzle and movement. So it's got a little bit of a kind of tricky control scheme, controlling the movement of the snake with your analog sticks. It's a really fun game, and this one came from Super Rare Games in the UK. We've talked about them before. They do some really nice additions. The problem with Snake Pass is this was one of the earlier titles that they'd done, so it has become a little bit more on the rare side. I know you guys like me to focus on really cheap games that you can get that will go up in value in the future, but even some of the more expensive ones, I'd say they're likely to rise in the future even higher. If you're in the UK, definitely try and look on CEX. They do have super rare games in stock there. As they were made in the UK, they can be sold through that outlet. And their prices tend to be a little bit on the cheaper side compared to checking on eBay. So if you're lucky and they have a copy of Snake Pass somewhere nearby, or you can order one for delivery through them, it's one to think about. Definitely look up a trailer for it, or if you were there on the early days of the Switch, you maybe already know that you want this one. If you're coming from America or further afield, it's going to be an import job for you, which again, unfortunately will add to costs. But I think Snake Pass is definitely worth it. Next up is Air Twister, and this is a brand new game from Yu Suzuki, legendary Japanese game creator. This guy done some of the best games of all time with Sega, and he done one of my favourite franchises ever, which is the Shenmue series, right back from the Dreamcast, through the Xbox, and then up to modern day with Shenmue 3. One of his more famous series from back in the day, though, is Space Harrier, and this game, Air Twister, is kind of like a Space Harrier-like. It's almost like the way Bombrush CYBERFUNK was a spiritual successor in its genre. Air Twister is a spiritual successor for Space Harrier. And the gameplay holds up. It's still pretty decent gameplay. If you like Space Harrier, you're getting the same type of gameplay in this. It's very good in terms of that aspect. The musical soundtrack I really liked, but some people may not like it. It kind of didn't fit so much with the actual game itself, but I enjoy that type of music, so it worked well for me. So definitely give the trailer maybe a look for this one with the sound. I can't play it here due to copyright claims potentially on YouTube, but definitely have a look for it and see if it's something that's down your alley. The gameplay though, I can attest for and say it's very good across the board, but the soundtrack may just be an acquired taste for most people. Batman, the Telltale series. Anyone that has played a Telltale game will know kind of what they're getting here. It's that point and click style of gameplay, making decisions that can have an effect on the storyline all through the way. These are really cool. I love the Telltale series, especially the Walking Dead games, which you can also get on Nintendo Switch. The reason the Batman one I think will be worth money in the future, I believe this is the only place that actually has this physical all on the actual cartridge or disc. I think when it came out on other consoles, the rest of it was downloadable. Definitely double check that before you buy it, just in case I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty certain that is true. And with it being tied into obviously the Batman kind of name, those games always tend to hold some kind of value because you'll always have collectors that either like that character or that like kind of DC Comics overall as a total and will be trying to pick them up. Some of them go really cheap, but some of them end up holding quite a lot of value. And I've just got a sneaking suspicion that the Telltale Batman game will be one of those that'll be harder to come by in the future. Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Collection. This is one of my favourite games of all time. The first Life is Strange is absolutely fantastic. I know with the guys that watch this video, there's probably a lot of people that have played this series and absolutely love it because you do like similar experiences to me, a lot of you, and this one is fantastic. Again, it's kind of in the same vein as the Telltale type of games. It's not the most challenging gameplay. This one's more about the story, the revelations, the choices that you make along the way. It plays kind of like a fun TV series or movie. There's twists, there's turns, there's cliffhangers at the end of episodes. It is that kind of episodic format, but here obviously you're getting everything all in the one story, all on the cartridge and ready to go. And that's really awesome. The main element of this one that I found interesting was the photography aspect. So you can go around and as kind of collectibles, you can take photographs of different things. I thought it was really cool. It added something really nice to the kind of physicality of the game. It's just a fun world, a twisting, turning storyline. If you've never played this one, it's awesome and I fully recommend it. And I think because it's such a great series and because it has that fan base, I think it's perfect for handheld play on the Switch. This one is sure to go up, and I believe they kind of stopped printing this one now. It did take a little bit of a spike recently and is harder to get, but I know you can still pick it up in European regions at least anyway. An excellent game. Don't hesitate on this one, even if you have to go to the eShop, if you're not willing to go for the physical. It's a class experience that you need to try. And the final game we're going to talk about today, again, as you know, I like to give the bonus items. I usually try not to make it an actual game, but something in around the console ecosystem itself. This one kind of is a game though, but you'll understand when I tell you it is Skylanders Imaginators. And this one obviously comes with all the extras that you get with the starter pack for Skylanders. So you obviously get your characters, you get the little station to scan the characters into the game. And so I've put it as this choice as well, because anyone that knows will know that this one is going for extortionate prices. But as I've said before, I do like to look at things that will go up further in value, and I really think this is one of those games. Unfortunately, it's going to take a good bit of cash put aside to get this one. But I did actually talk to someone recently online that had picked this one up for a half decent price, so there are deals still out there. Garage sales, second-hand places, old video game shops, charity shops. You never know where something like this is going to pop up, and you might be able to snag a deal on it. Again, sorry that it's one of the more expensive ones, but I just want to put it out there in case anyone's interested. I think this one is certain to rise even higher this early in a console kind of life cycle, where it's near the end of the console's generation, but in terms of collectability, we've got decades and decades where Switch is still going to be relevant. People are going to want to hunt down full collections, and this is going to have to be there if you want that. It's already got hard to get, and it's going to get even worse. So if you're hankering for a full Switch collection, if you're a fan of the Toys to Life genre and you don't have this one on Switch, it's going to be one you want to jump on sooner rather than later. Thank you all very much for watching. If you liked the video, check out this one as well. YouTube thinks you'll really like it, so they're recommending it to you, and I think you'll really like it too.